For chapter 6, we are going to talk about perimeter and area. So 6.1 is about perimeter. So perimeter means that the total length of the outer boundary of a closed shape or figure. So for closed shape means the shape like this or like this or like this. We call it as a closed shape. So if the shape is like this or like this, it's not a closed shape. So if the question asks you to calculate the perimeter, means that we just need to add up the total length of its shape. So for the shape like this, you need to add up the length here and also the length here as well, because the length here is also considered as the outer boundary of the shape. Next, we're going to 6.2, which talk about area. So an area means a measure of how much space is covered by the shape or figure. So no matter what kind of shape it is, while the question asks us to calculate the area, means that we need to add up the total space of this shape. So like this. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about the area of 7 different kind of shape. So the first one we are going to learn is the area of square. So the formula will be the square of its sides, which means its side times its sides. So as we know that for a square, the length of each side is the same. So we just need to times any two sides of it. So in another way, we can also say that its base times its height. The length of its base and the length of its height is the same. So the side of here times the side of here. The second one we are going to look at is the area of rectangle. So the formula will be the length times its breadth, or we call it as width. As we know that for a rectangle, the length here will be the same as the length here, right? And the length here will be the same as the length here. So which means that we need to take the length of this side times the length of this side. In another way, we also can say the base times the height. The third shape we are going to look at is parallelogram. So for parallelogram, the area will be base times its height. And remember, the height have to be perpendicular, which means that, as you can see from this picture, the base will be here and its height must be perpendicular to this base. So while doing the calculation, you must remember that the height of parallelogram is not this side and it's also not this side as well. The height of it must be perpendicular to the base, which means that here must be a 90 degree. So going on, number 4, we are going to look at triangle. So the area of a triangle is, we take 1/2 times its base times its height. So for a triangle, remember the base is here and the height is also the same, must be perpendicular to the base. So this will be its height, not this one and also not this side. Which means that while we are calculating the area of a triangle, we need to take the length of its base times the length of its height, then divided by 2. Next, we are going to look at the area of rhombus and kite. So for the rhombus and the kite, while we are calculating the area, is the same formula. So 1/2 times the product of diagonals. Let's say a rhombus or a kite. So their diagonals will be this line and this line, right? This line and this line. So the product of diagonals means that these diagonals are going to times this diagonal. The length of this diagonal are going to times the length of this diagonal. So in another way, we also can say that it's the length times its height divided by 2. So the same thing, the length of the rhombus and kite will be this one and this one. So for its height is also the same, must be perpendicular to the length. Okay, so must be perpendicular to the length. So this will be its height. So we take the length times its height, then divided by 2. So the last one we are going to look at is trapezium. So the area of trapezium is 1/2 times the sum of parallel sides times its height. So let's look at this picture. So the sum of parallel sides means that for trapezium, the parallel side is this side and this side, right? It's the A and B. So we need to add it up, sum of. So we need to add A plus B, then times its height. Means that the height of a trapezium must be perpendicular to side A and B as well. So this will be its height. So remember, it's not this side and it's also not this side. Must be perpendicular to both parallel sides. Then divided by 2. So we can also write it as A plus B times its height divided by 2. So the last part of this chapter, 6.3, we are going to talk about the conversions of the unit of area. For the first one, we are going to convert cm to mm. So 1 cm square means that 1 cm times 1 cm, right? So 1 cm equals to 10 mm. So we're going to take 10 mm times 10 mm to get 100 mm square. So which means that 10 times 10 will get 100. Mm times mm will get mm square. So the next one, we are going to convert m square into cm square. So we know that 1m square equals to 1m times 1m. So 1m equals to 100 cm. So we'll take 100 cm times 100 cm. So 100 times 100 will get 10,000. Then cm times cm will get cm square. Next, we are going to convert km square into m square. So we know that 1 km square will equals to 1 km times 1 km. So 1 km will equal to 1000 m. So 1000 m times 1000 m. So 1000 times 1000, we will get 1 million, right? So 1 million, then m times m will get m square. Next is a hectare. So 1 hectare will equals to 10,000 m square, remember? And also 1 km square will equals to 100 hectare. So remember here, 1 hectare equals to 10,000 m square, while 1 km square equals to 100 hectare. Now we look at this picture. So for the first one, cm square convert to mm square. So cm square here convert to mm square, we need to times 100 because 1 cm square is 100 mm square, right? Just now we have calculated 1 cm square equals to 100 mm square. So while we are doing the conversion, 1 cm square, we want to convert to mm square, we need to times 100. So the same thing, if we want to convert mm square back to cm square, we need to divide 100. So the second one is m square convert to cm square. So m square convert to cm square, we need to times 10,000. So the same thing, while convert cm square back to m square, we need to divide 10,000. Then next, 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 m square, right? So while we want to convert hectare to m square, we need to times 10,000 because 1 hectare equals to 10,000 m square. So the same thing, while we want to convert m square back to hectare, we need to divide 10,000. So here, 1 km square equals to 100 hectare, means that while converting the km square to hectare, we need to times 100. So while converted back, we need to divide 100. So from here, we know that from km square convert to hectare, we need to times 100, right? So from hectare, we need to convert to m square, we need to times 10,000. So while we want to convert from km square to m square, from here to here, which means that we need to times 100 and then times 10,000. So 100 times 10,000 we will get times 1 million. So which is this one? So 1 km square equals to 1 million m square, because you see here have 2 zeros, right? Here have 4 zeros, so total 6 zeros. So we need to times 1 million to convert km square to m square. So that's all for the chapter 6. You need to remember how to calculate the parameter, how to calculate the area, and also how to convert the unit of the area. So please complete the exercise in your mathematics book.